What's up, y'all? So, welcome to the quickie lesson time. So, this time we're going to be talking about series mode and vaping in series mode and basically power vaping, okay? I have a question over here from Eric Millikan. It says that my current 18650 battery of choice is the IMR 2000 mAh 40 amp cell. I plan on using two of these in an unregulated series / parallel box mod. I've done my own calculation below. This is what I got, etc., and then power 235 watts. If it's correct, both of the IMR 2000 mAh 40 amp should be able to handle this build. Correct me if I'm wrong. And I told him that I would do a video just for him. So, let's begin with something real quick, okay? As far as like the 18650 battery goes, right? I'm just going to go ahead and say on camera right now, right? The 18650 battery was never ever intended to be used on its own, okay? We do it anyways, but it's really not attempted to be used on its own. It's really meant to be used in groups because that way it handles battery sag better, it handles, amperage, it handles a whole bunch of things better. It's supposed to be used as a group, not so much as a single cell. But since we do use them as single cells and stuff, this show teaches people how to use them properly. Now, today we're going to be talking about series setups, okay? Series setups, I'm obviously going to be using my latest series toy, which is a Kung Fu mod over here in series. And we're going to do some calculations, we're going to talk about stuff, and basically really get to the bottom and understand what is going on with series setups, okay? So, here we go. Okay, truth video time. Never mind the glare on this thing. Actually, both Grizzlies are here. It's just like the way that you hold it. Alright, so all the meters are out. The inline meter over here and the ohm meter. So the ohm meter, I have here with me a 0.5 atomizer, okay? 0.51, 0.5. Yeah, that's about right. Okay, so I'm going to leave that closed and we'll talk about that in a little bit. As always, the black one is the parallel one. The silver one is the series box, okay? So I'm going to set these two aside, and now I'm going to bring over a little night core charger, okay? Now, the charger is fresh off the charger right now, okay? So, all four, right? And I'm going to take out two, and then I'm going to shove them into the parallel box mod over here, so positive and positive both facing up. Okay, let's put this in here. And let's pop in the fresh batteries for the series mod over here. Okay, so positive side downwards on the left over here, and positive side upwards. Okay, so two up, and then one down, one up. Done. So close this off, and then let's close this one off. Okay, there. First, let's check the voltage of this little guy. Okay, so this one is almost full, 4.19 over here. Okay, and here's what I want to talk about basically. So this is a half ohm, right? 0.5 that we were just using before, and a lot of things that I want to make known first, okay? A lot of things cheat on camera. So there's a reason why I'm going to light this up without the wicks in here, because you don't need that much heat to cook juice. Okay, we've been cooking juice, all the way back in the ego days with like a 3.2, a pen, and you don't need a lot of heat to cook juice. So once this thing fires up or whatever, and then we have a wick and it's all juiced up and ready to go and stuff, yeah, obviously you're going to see fumes come out, and that doesn't mean anything. All right. Really, what I want you guys to see is the power that's going on over here. So a lot of people are using parallel box mods to fuel their power vapes and stuff. Like they vape hardcore, they build it down really low, they put in two batteries over here so you can split the amperage, blah blah blah, whatever. I'm here to tell you that that's not exactly the best way of doing something. Okay. Now, so I have this on the 0.5. So earlier we have 4.19, right? So I'm going to fire this thing, and I'm going to show you the load on it. 3.96. Okay, that's the real world load for roughly, you know, half an ohm without on basically new batteries. Okay, you could get a lot more battery sag on crappier batteries, or if the batteries has too much internal resistance in it, but these batteries are still, you know, more or less fairly new. So anyways, what I really want you guys to check out over here, okay, let me focus the screen a little bit better for you guys, and really what I want people to pay attention to is how long did it take for the coils to glow up. So bang, da 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 da. Yeah, that's a while, right? That's really taking a while to glow up, right? Okay, and right, what am I trying to say here? What I'm trying to say is that, like, you're gonna hold this thing down for a while before all your watts pass through and the coils is as hot as it can be before you take a vape. And once you do that, this thing is already piping hot. Because it's connected to a meter and not directly on the device, but normally when the atomizer is connected directly on the device, it's going to return heat to the device. It's going to return heat, you know, to the batteries and stuff, and that's going to, you know, add to the internal resistance, etc., etc. It's just not smart. It's just not a good thing to do when you're looking to power vape. So what is the purpose of this box mount? This box mount is like, I will put up some numbers eventually, not today, but you know, what you should be really using this for is exactly where it shines, which is it's a parallel unit, and putting two batteries in here will double the mAh. So that, like, you know, right here I have two 2,500 mAh batteries. This thing is rocking 5,000 mAh, and that's really what it's for. Okay, so I just wanted to make that clear, get it out of the way. A lot of things cheat on camera, you know, like blowing vape into bright lights and stuff like that, so that it looks like a ton of vapor. When, you know, there's a lot of stuff that cheats on camera. Okay, so that's why I wanted to take out the wicks and stuff like that, so you don't see any cheating or whatever. You really see the true performance of the coils. All right, so let's dump that aside. We have the series mod over here. Okay, so after all that jibber jabber, right? Hopefully these coils have cooled down a little bit. I'm just going to go ahead and use a tool so that, like, you know, I can see how hot it is, so I don't burn myself. Yeah, it's pretty darn hot. Nothing. I'm gonna set it aside real quick, right? So we're gonna put this guy on, and if this thing is at like full batteries, we should be reading like what, 8.4, 8.3, something like that. So let's find where it is. Okay, here it is. It's over here, and boom, 8.4. Okay, 8.4. That is the voltage for stacked series batteries. Okay, makes sense. All right. So again, right, 0.5 coil over here, right? And what I'm going to do is that I'm going to fire this thing for you, right? And we're going to do two things, okay? Hopefully this thing is not so hot that it'll burn me. I'm just freaking out over here. It's actually really not that hot. Okay, so what I'm going to do is screw this thing down. Again, 0.5 atomizer, right? And the first thing we're going to take a look at real quick, right, is what the battery sag is, okay? But because now it's under load. So boom, 7.3. You saw that? Boom, 7.3. Okay, so on a 0.5 atomizer, we're going to drop down 11 points from 8.4 to 7.3. Okay, that's what's really firing to the coils. Now, the next thing I want you guys to pay attention to is how quickly the coils are going to light up, as opposed to what we just did with the parallel box mod. Okay, so here we go. Bang! Okay, look how quickly that thing comes up. That's power. That's ramp up time, instantly. Okay, and you're cooking the juice, you're getting the power, etc., etc. before the heat spreads into the box mod or your tube mod or whatever the hell it is you're doing, okay? So I don't care how good the new tube mods are, how thick they are, how whatever. I'll just come out and say it right now, like those AmeriVape, like, you know, Manhattan mods, blah, 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 this and that. Why are we still stressing the hell out of a single battery? That makes no sense. You really want to power vape? You really want to go into a 100 watts and over of mechanical power? Just wire something up in series. Just wire it up in series. That's it. You know, it doesn't have to be a good mod. We don't have to make it out of gold or copper or whatever. Like, who are we kidding? It's all about the nature of the wiring. It has nothing to do with using good batteries, because I'm using EFES right here, and we all know those are bottom shelf HE2 batteries. They're not even good batteries, but look at the performance that we get. Boom. Okay? That's what people need to wake up to, right? So now to answer Alex's question about the numbers regarding this stuff. So you just saw earlier that this thing was 8.4 and now it's firing at 7.3. Okay, and then the performance of this thing. So let's come back up over to the screen capture and pull up some Ohm's Law calculators and really talk about what it is with series. Alright guys, so to recap on Eric's question over here, he goes, resistance, I got 0.3, and then on a series box, 8.4, current 28, blah, 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 all that stuff, okay? So let's go back over here on the Ohm's Law real quick. You can only enter 2 out of the 4 in order to get what you want to do. So using 8.4 as a safety buffer, I absolutely agree with that. And as far as the resistance, he put in 0.3, and then he calculates over here. Yeah, this is the numbers that you get, okay? However, real world, that's not exactly what really happens, because I just showed you what happens when the atomizer is under load and what the battery sag actually is, okay? So what was really going on? What was going on in my setup, okay? Personally, I think that building at 0.5 is really low for series, and it's not something that even I could vape on. I'll probably take like a 1 second hit off of it or something, and it's just way too hot for me. But here we go. Mainly because I don't believe in training yourself to handle more than you need for no reason. Like I'm just not looking to make a sport of it, okay? But as far as you know, theories and arguing and understanding or whatever, then I'm all for that. Okay, so what did we have before? It was 7.3. That was what it actually sagged down to, right? And then I had a 0.5 resistance on it. So when we calculate, what you were seeing is actually a 14.6 current and 106 watts of power going into that thing when it, boom, lit up like that, right? And the great part about it is that we were using the 2 purple EFES batteries, and each EFES battery we know are actually HE2s, and HE2s are 20 amp continuous. When things are using more voltage, okay, less current is actually required. So that's a good thing. Vaping in series is actually very safe. Even though it creates a ton of power and it's very hot, it's still actually pretty safe on the batteries. So we're actually only using 14.6 amps to each battery that could handle 20, no problem. Okay, so hope that really answers your question regarding what's really going on with the batteries and stuff, okay? Now, as far as rewrapping of batteries and stuff like that with the purple IMRINs, the green IMRINs and stuff, saying that they're 30 amp batteries, 40 amp batteries, let me just be clear right now. As of the date, as always, check the date of the video before you make your comments and your criticism and stuff. As of the date right now, there is no such frickin' thing as 30 amps or higher when it comes into continuous. Okay, so what does that mean? That means those 38 amp cells, 40 amp cells, you know, vamped batteries, blah, blah, whatever. Those are all the pulse specs. So what happens when it's a pulse spec? It's usually double of whatever the original continuous is. So what does that tell you? It tells you that it's probably not a 40 amp cell and it's only a 20 amp cell. In this case, the IMRIN IMR 2000 MOV 40, if anything, I would say this thing is probably a Samsung 20R inside. Look, Samsung 20R, real quick, right? If we pull this battery up, right, it's $10 off a kidney puncher, and it's 2,000 mAh. The thing, max discharge continuous is 22 amps. And if we had to just go ahead and make up a fair number for pulse rating, I think 40 amps is about right. So it's highly likely that this is exactly what an IMRIN rewrap really is. Okay? Just something to bear in mind. So, yeah, don't go by those numbers. Do your best to try to go with, like, either figure out what the real battery is, or ask them, write to IMRIN, write to eFest, write to different kind of rewrap companies, really what they are. Or you could go with, the LG, the Samsung, the Panasonic, Sanyo, stuff like that. Those things put the actual specs, the actual, whatever it's rated for. They don't give it ridiculous ratings and stuff like that, okay? Another thing real quick that I want to show you guys, right? As far as the SMY series box mod thing, I don't think we're going to be doing it, okay? We're not going to be doing the sale or anything like that. I'm going to show you guys a photo over here that would have been, okay? We would have released a series box mod through SMY, and it would look something like this. But at the end of the day, the prices that they were asking for was ridiculous, especially for how they kind of destroyed their own market. Okay, really quick, I'll get into that right now. Okay, if we go over to GearBest. The last time when I spoke about the SMY box mods and stuff like that on GearBest, they were down to like $30 and some of them even $27. Now they're at $55 because I personally have brought this to SMY's attention. So they went and basically bitched them out. And that's why the prices are this high. But the existence of GearBest is to defeat Fastech. Everything on GearBest is cheaper than Fastech. But watch this. If we go to Fastech over here, right, and really quick, right, put in what was it like SMY again, right, with the Kung Fu box mods and stuff, they go for $33 over here. So guys, basically for the series mod, in your heart, the price point is already going to be around like $35, and that's what we were all going to go for, right? But what they want with it, they destroy their own market value, etc., etc. It's just not going to be done, especially for the fact that this thing could have been a better 510 connection. The series mod also will not have a USB inside of it, and as far as the button, I also think that they went a little bit cheap on the anti-vandal button over here. It could have been something a little bit better. I wish I had like better photos to show you guys what I'm talking about. But yeah, the 510 connection is not that great. It's not worth that. It's not worth $55. $35 price point would have been banging. And I'll just reveal the price to you. They asked me for about like $25 each. So after taxes, after shipping, after like whatever, $35. It's not worth it. You might as well go to Fastech and buy it for $33. I just apologize that they're only doing the parallel one, but maybe they'll do the series one day. Okay. Should I decide to release a Pegasus version of a series box mod or something like that, it will look a lot better than the one in this photo over here, right? This is just random idea that was tossed up between me and SMY, and we couldn't agree on the price or anything like that because they're not very good at business. So it is what it is, whatever. Yeah, so let's get that one out of the way, okay? So yeah, guys, as far as the Ohm's law stuff, do your best to try and calculate with 8.4 and basically whatever battery that your current can handle, right? Then you could build it down to such and such wear, all right? And then considering the battery sag or whatever, you're not going to get the actual 210 watts, this watts, that watts, and whatnot, okay? After different things are on load or whatever, it's going to drop down significantly. Alright guys, so final thoughts. I don't consider power vaping anywhere between starting from 7 watts all the way to 50 watts, because up to 50 watts and 50 watt devices and stuff, it could be argued as a warmer or more satisfying vape depending on how your setup is. But generally, once you get into 60, 70, 80, blah blah blah, 100 plus watts and stuff, yeah, you are definitely power vaping, okay? And I feel as if like a lot of people who are vaping things at 150 plus watts or whatever, yeah, like you hold it down for a second and then you quickly blow on it, or you quickly like inhale on it. The air that's coming in is keeping it cool and bringing down the temperature on it, so that even though your device is technically firing at like such and such high watts or whatever, with the airflow inside, you're keeping it down. You know what I mean? So without actual heat probes inside, we will never really know what is going on. But what I can tell you is that, like, for the average person, vaping at true, 80 watts, 100 watts, especially mechanically on a series device, is incredibly hot. Okay, so really, it's really not for like your newbie beginner guys, okay? So if you're interested in that kind of power or the ramp up time, then what you're really looking for is the ramp up on it, right? It would also be very wise to build 0.8 or 1.2 or 1.3 coils on a series box, and then when you fire the button, that thing just lights up so quick, you know what I mean? So yeah, guys, play around with stuff and then, find out for yourself exactly what is best for you and what your favorite style of vaping is going to be. So as always, question everything, do your homework, and vape clever, y'all. Take care.